What's up guys, Max Digital here. In this video we're going to compare the Apple iPhone X with the Samsung Galaxy S20. Let's take a look. So the Apple iPhone X was the first Face ID phone, the first iPhone to remove the fingerprint from the front of the device. So that made this phone pretty much almost all screen except for the notch on top where it houses the Face ID. This iPhone X came out 3 years before the Samsung Galaxy S20, and the Galaxy S20 is released with 5G. It came out in February of 2020 and is just a flagship device along with the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra. Let's take a look and take a deeper dive into the specs. So the pricing for these devices are pretty similar. The iPhone X was the first phone with a giant price tag of $1,000, and the S20 also, when it was launched, was for $1,000. But now, since these are devices that have been out on the market, especially the iPhone X, prices have dramatically fallen. The iPhone X could be had for less than $300, whereas the S20 is one model year behind. You could probably get it around $500 to $600. The build quality of the iPhone X is very premium. When the phone came out, it was super luxurious. That's why it was marketed as a $1,000 phone, and for good reason. It had that glass back. Everything about it just felt very, very premium. Same thing goes with the S20 5G. It also has a premium feel, and that's due to the glass back on the back as well. Both of these devices compare very similarly to the build quality, although these have 3 years between them. For overall size, the S20 is slightly larger, having a almost 6-inch height as opposed to the 5.6-inch height on the iPhone X. It's actually a little bit thinner for the sides on the width, and these are almost identical for the thickness at around 0.3 inches. For the weight of these two devices, the iPhone is slightly heavier, weighs in at 174 grams, which is 6.14 ounces, and the S20 is 163 grams or 5.75 ounces. So regardless, these are some pretty lightweight phones for the most part. The iPhone X is a single nano SIM card slot phone, while the Galaxy S20 has a single SIM card for nano and also an eSIM. So you could actually have two data plans or two different phone numbers on the S20. It's good for travelers or if you want two different services. Both of these phones are dust and water resistant. The iPhone X is IP67, while the Samsung is IP68. You could pretty much dunk both of these phones in the water submerged for around 30 minutes and nothing will happen to them. For the type of screen on these devices, the iPhone X has a Super Retina OLED display, while the Samsung has a dynamic AMOLED display. The overall size is going to be bigger on the Samsung. It has a 6.2-inch screen as opposed to the iPhone's 5.8-inch screen. The iPhone has 82% screen to body ratio, and you get more real estate on the Samsung. You get 89% screen to body ratio. For the resolution, the iPhone X has a 1125 by 2436 pixel resolution, while the Samsung Galaxy S20 has 1440 by 3200 pixels. You get PPI of 458 on the iPhone X, 563 PPI on the Samsung. So overall, you get a brighter, nicer screen overall on the Samsung device, except that the iPhone X holds its own very well at a 400 over 400 PPI count. If you put these side by side, the Samsung will probably be better, but if you were to put it to the naked eye separately, you wouldn't notice the difference. You get iOS 11 upgradable to 14 on the iPhone X and a little bit beyond. Android 10 on the Samsung when it was launched, and it's currently upgraded to Android 11 with a One UI on top. If you like reliable and steady updates, the iPhone will be good for you. Very efficient, very reliable software. You can get iMessage, FaceTime, AirDrop, iMovie. Free software like that is found on the iPhone. On Android, on the Samsung Galaxy S20, you get a lot of customizable features. There's tons of things to tweak to your liking to make the phone your own. Although it could be a little bit daunting for some people. But overall, these two phones are great because now Samsung can update. They're updating their phones with software more regularly, and you could find all the popular apps on both ecosystems. So the iPhone 10 has the Apple A11 Bionic chip, and the Samsung Galaxy S20 has two types of chips depending on your region. You get an Exynos 990 or a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865. Although the A11 Bionic on the iPhone is a little bit older, it still it puts up a very, very good experience today, even in 2021. And certainly the Snapdragon 865 holds its own on the Samsung Galaxy S20. Both of these devices would work with pretty much every app that could be downloaded from their respective app store. Moving on to the storage, the iPhone 10 has 64 gigs of storage, while the Samsung doubles that to 128 gigs of internal storage. You could opt for more storage, but it will cost you more money on both of these devices. But the Samsung, you could add a micro SD card for very cheap. So overall, these Galaxy S20 just has more storage options than the 64 gigs and 256 gigs on the iPhone. For the RAM, the iPhone 10 has 3 gigs, while the Samsung S20 has 8 gigs of RAM. Both of these phones should be perfectly fine. They'll handle lots of apps, no problem. 3 gigs is probably the minimum a phone should have for an iPhone. That'll handle it pretty good. 8 gigs is definitely where it's supposed to be for the S20. It'll chew through apps, no problem. Video editing or even high-end gaming should be good. Moving on to the cameras, the iPhone 10 has a dual 12 megapixel setup. One is the main camera, one is a telephoto lens, while the S20 has 3 cameras on the back: 12 megapixel main, 64 megapixel telephoto, and the 12 megapixel ultra wide. So a very impressive setup. You'll take very good pictures and videos on both of these devices, but the ultra wide very much separates itself from the iPhone 10. So if you want more shots, more things in your video, then the ultra wide will really help you out on the S20. For video resolution, the iPhone 10 can shoot up to 4K, while the Samsung Galaxy S20 can shoot up to 8K. So again, you could take very crispy, nice videos on both of these devices. I think 8K is a little bit of overkill, but it's there if you really want that super nice video. For the selfie camera, the iPhone 10 has 7 megapixels, while you get 10 megapixels on the Galaxy. And you could take 1080p video on the selfie camera on the iPhone 10, while you get 4K video on the S20. So a more advanced camera system on the selfie for the Samsung. Neither of these devices have headphone jacks, so if you are still not embracing wireless, both of these phones will not help you out. Both of these phones are equipped with Bluetooth 5.0, and that's the way that you're going to connect your smartwatch or your wearables and headphones and stuff like that. Both phones are equipped with NFC, and that's mostly reserved for payment systems. The iPhone charging port is Lightning, while you get USB Type-C on the S20. Out of the two charging methods, USB-C is just more versatile because it could charge a lot more different devices such as MacBooks, Chromebooks, Windows PCs, iPads, tablets, other Android phones and headphones, and just all types of devices. So if you have those type of things, this will be very convenient and use the same power cable. But if you have a lot of Apple iOS devices, then Lightning will be the way to go. Unlocking the iPhone 10 uses Face ID. This is the first phone to offer, or the first iPhone to offer Face ID. while the S20 has a more contemporary, really cool, futuristic under-the-display fingerprint reader that's coming out in a lot of higher-end devices and even some mid-range. But both of these are very reliable ways to unlock your phone. The Samsung Galaxy S20 has a little bonus feature where you could where it calls Samsung DeX, where basically you could turn your phone connected to a monitor and you have a desktop operating system. And for the battery, a very important part of a smartphone, and the iPhone X has a 2716 milliamp battery, while the S20 has a much larger 4000 milliamp battery. Simply put, the iPhone X has just way less battery life than the Samsung Galaxy S20. It will not last you all day. While the Samsung could last you all day at 4000 milliamps, but is just okay, because there's phones out here now that have 5000, 6000 milliamp batteries. Regardless, you should be okay for most of the day. You're going to recharge on both of these devices, and each one offers fast charging. The iPhone comes in with fast charging at 15 watts, and the Samsung is at 25 watts. You also get wireless charging on the iPhone, and you get extras on the Samsung Galaxy S20. You get fast wireless charging and also reverse wireless charging. So in short, both of these are still great devices no matter which one you choose here in 2021. Although the iPhone X is getting long in the tooth, it's still going to be a good device even for past 2021, although I do worry about battery life. That's one thing that this phone does not have, is good battery life. Other than that, this phone ushered in Face ID to iPhones and offered more screen real estate overall. But it is getting up there in age. The video is still good, camera is still good. It has wireless charging, it has that telephoto lens, but everything about the iPhone X that's good, the Samsung Galaxy S20 is better at. It has extra camera, has that ultra wide lens, it has DeX, it has just a bigger battery, more storage. You could have a micro SD card for expandable storage. It has tons of RAM. Pretty much everything about the S20 is awesome. Even for the software, it's getting updated more regularly, trying to compete with Apple. So that's been my comparison of the iPhone X and the Samsung Galaxy S20 5G here in 2021. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. Peace.